Much more is hidden in the silence of an embrace than meets the eye. This simple, seemingly ordinary gesture can conceal unspoken intentions and deep messages, especially if it comes from someone you have feelings for. A moment that lasts just a little longer than usual, the closeness of bodies, bated breath, all of this creates an atmosphere of anticipation. And when the embrace ends, the question lingers in the air. What did he mean by that? Carl Gustav Jung, the eminent Swiss psychologist, attached great importance to the unspoken, believing that the unconscious manifests itself through gestures, glances, and symbols. According to Jung, the language of the soul is not always expressed in words. More often, it manifests in subtle, emotionally charged actions. An embrace can be the key to understanding this unconscious dimension. Many men, experiencing deep feelings, do not dare to express them openly. Their bodies speak for them, and embraces become one of the strongest. Expressions of affection. It's important to be able to interpret these signs correctly, because every embrace is unique and carries a specific intention. Understanding these nuances can open up new horizons in relationships. When a man's embraces are unhurried, slow, and sincere, it speaks volumes about his longing for emotional intimacy, even if words get stuck in his throat. And that's where you come in, with your reaction. Coldness and detachment in response to his gesture unequivocally signal, "I don't share your feelings." But if you demonstrate emotional intelligence and feminine sensitivity, you can touch chords in his soul that he will remember for a long time. Jung spoke of the archetype of the anima, the feminine principle in the male soul, which is awakened by a true feminine presence. When a woman radiates this energy, not hiding behind masks and not restricting herself with tension, but expressing herself openly and calmly, she is able to penetrate into the very depths of a man's heart. Straighten your shoulders, immerse yourself in the present moment, linger in the embrace a little longer, let him feel your warmth and comfort. A light stroke on the back, a gentle touch to the hand, these simple signs of attention open the door to a world of emotions, allowing him to feel closer to you. However, more important than physical contact is the energy you radiate. Words are superfluous. Confidence, calmness, and a slight mystery, that's your arsenal. When he feels that you are not afraid of intimacy and do not distance yourself, he begins to associate you with warmth, joy, acceptance, and desire. A desire for more awakens in him, a feeling that he himself cannot always realize. Jung would call this the awakening of an archetypal emotion, something that lies beyond words. No less important is the moment of ending the embrace, the art of detachment. Avoid abrupt movements that can destroy the magic of the moment. On the contrary, move away smoothly and gently, as if leaving behind a trail of electric tension. Let your energy linger in the air for a while, reminding him of the closeness and awakening in him a quiet but persistent desire for a new meeting. Many women underestimate the power of the gaze that follows an embrace. This fleeting moment of eye contact can work wonders. Don't rush to look away, hold his gaze, calmly and confidently, bestowing a light smile that speaks more than 1,000 words. This short pause, filled with silence and your presence, seems to say, "I feel good next to you." If you notice that he doesn't take his eyes off you, his breathing becomes intermittent, or a slight blush of embarrassment appears on his face, know that you have touched something deep and real in him. This effect cannot be achieved with memorized phrases or artificial games, only with sincere presence and conscious command of the language of your body. Remember, the true art of seduction lies not so much in words and actions, but in the sensations you give to another person. Learn to use embraces as a powerful tool of female self-expression, filling them with confidence, tenderness, and sensitivity. In this way, you can appeal directly to his unconscious, touching, in the spirit of Carl Jung, something irrational and unforgettable. And if you do everything right, this man will remember you every time he feels a lack of your embraces. In anticipation of the moment when you are ready to detach, there is a subtle gesture, seemingly insignificant, but possessing a powerful emotional charge. A light, almost accidental touch of the tips of your fingers to his back or waist. This fleeting touch awakens deep, instinctive reactions in him. He feels closeness, intimacy, although he cannot explain it rationally. The main thing is to do it naturally, as if unintentionally, but at the same time with enough intention so that his body perceives it as an affectionate, feminine touch. It is such minor details that touch something secret in him. As Jung argued, the most powerful is often hidden from the eyes. That's the energy you transmit through nonverbal gestures. It's like the soul in motion. Many women mistakenly believe they must conquer a man with intellect, wit, or directness. But the truth is, your body speaks much louder than words. If you know how to move, look, and approach, your energy becomes a magnetic language penetrating his deepest feelings. Your inner state is crucial. If you radiate confidence, inner harmony, and decisive tenderness, a unique combination of strength and softness, he'll sense you're a self-sufficient woman who doesn't need to prove anything. And that's 1,000 times more attractive than any memorized phrases. This is where the real magic begins. Mastering the art of this silent communication, you'll discover how men are inexplicably drawn to you, as if pulled by an unknown force. They'll remember you for no apparent reason, simply because your presence touched some hidden chords in their soul. As Carl Jung insightfully noted, there are experiences that penetrate deeply into our unconscious and then manifest as sudden impulses or desires with no visible basis. You can become such a profound experience for someone. Next time a man embraces you, don't take it for granted. It could be the perfect moment to leave an indelible emotional imprint on his heart, one that will stay with him long after the moment has passed. A quiet moment when you touch something deeply personal in his inner world without saying a single word. It all depends on how consciously and skillfully you use your charms, with intuition, elegance, and unwavering inner clarity. Now that you've grasped the secret of the magnetic response to hugs, let's take the next step. Behind this seemingly innocent touch lie signals that many men, and even women, don't consciously send or receive. But you're about to learn how to recognize them. For instance, the duration of a hug often speaks volumes. If a man hugs you longer than socially acceptable, there may be an unspoken need behind it. He may not even realize it, but his body craves to prolong that moment of closeness. Carl Jung wisely stated that our most eloquent actions are often irrational and express what we suppress or hide. This prolonged hug could be a subconscious sign of longing, unexpressed in words. This is your moment to shine. If you simply step back with a polite smile and go about your business, he'll assume it was just a friendly gesture. However, if you hold his gaze a little longer, maintaining calm breathing and not rushing, you'll send him a silent signal. I understand you. I feel this spark between us too. His response is equally important. A slow retreat, as if he doesn't want to break the connection, speaks volumes. A lingering look or involuntary lip-licking betrays his true intentions, hinting at something more than simple politeness. This is where many women get lost. Some rush to pull away, while others look down, ignoring the silent call. But you'll do differently. You'll stay close, here and now, remaining calm. You'll look him in the eye, enjoying this fleeting but palpable tension between you. This pause, this silent stillness, creates an invisible energy, awakening a desire in his soul that he may not yet realize, but that is beginning to ignite. If you want to leave a lasting impression, use another powerful technique, the so-called residual contact. Immediately after the hug, linger the touch for a split second. Something barely perceptible, such as your hand gently lingering on his waist or a light stroke on his back as you pull away. This gesture is like a smoldering ember that continues to warm even after the flame has seemingly gone out. He'll feel it, even without understanding why. This subtle form of contact evokes an emotional and physical response. And as Jung said, the deepest connections arise not through logical arguments, but through lived experience, when the symbolic, instinctive, and invisible within us resonates with each other. You are destined to become that unforgettable experience, that spark that ignites something deep and intimate in his soul. The most exciting moments often arise after hugs, in those split seconds when tactile contact ends. That's when it's decided whether you'll be just one of many or the one who has captured his thoughts. Imagine this scene. After the hug, he lingers, his gaze full of tenderness, and you respond with a barely perceptible smile. Perhaps you're coquettishly playing with a lock of hair, or momentarily casting your eyes down, as if saying, "I wish this moment could last forever." Unfortunately, many women intuitively destroy this magic by hastily breaking the connection or uttering words that dispel the enchantment of the moment. True attraction lies in that very pause, in the weightless moment when everything seems possible, or conversely, crumbles in an instant. Carl Jung spoke of the principle of polarity in the unconscious, asserting that attraction cannot exist without tension between opposites. Therefore, there is no need to rush and shorten this distance. Freeze in this energetic field where only the two of you exist. Let him feel the contrast between your closeness and gradual withdrawal. This technique, which some call creating an emotional vacuum, is a powerful tool in the art of conquering a man's heart. Its essence lies in allowing him to feel your warmth and then experience the slight coolness of your absence. This subtle lack, this delicate contrast, awakens in him the need to be near you again and again. To achieve true intimacy, it is necessary to master the art of restraint, learning to control your emotions and not succumb to the impulsive desire to diffuse the situation. Do not rush to fill the pause with words. Do not destroy the magic of the moment with excessive explanations. Simply gaze into his eyes, radiating calmness and confidence. Let the silence speak for you. This seemingly insignificant moment can create a kind of emotional cocoon in which the connection between you can unfold without any pressure or unnecessary words. And here is a little secret, known to few women, but capable of capturing his thoughts for a long time. Shortly before you look away, fleetingly glance at his lips, and then return to his eyes again. Without uttering a single word, you will say everything. This short glance awakens in him a premonition of possibility, an unspoken invitation that his subconscious instantly recognizes. From that moment on, his perception of you will change forever. If, after that, he falls silent, gives you a shy smile, or lowers his gaze, know that you have touched his deepest feelings without even touching him physically. As the great Carl Jung taught us, the unconscious reacts much more strongly to symbols than to logical arguments. At this moment, you become for him a living embodiment of longing, mystery, and attraction, not because of the words you said or the actions you took, but because of the feelings you awakened in him. To truly touch a man, you don't need to look for the perfect words or flaunt your appearance. It is enough to awaken in him a range of sensations, small emotional experiences that imperceptibly penetrate his depths and remain there forever without explanations or visible reasons. And it is in this context that a hug, used consciously and with sensitivity, can become one of the most powerful tools for establishing a deep emotional connection. Do not underestimate the power of a hug, seeing in it only a manifestation of physical closeness. Consider it as an invitation to an intimate space where genuine connection is born. Perhaps it is a silent question addressed to you. Do you see deeper? Do you feel more than others? Armed with this understanding, turn each hug into a sensual revelation, into an unforgettable mark on his soul. For this, you will need a little presence, confidence, and the ability to recognize subtle signals that escape others. As Jung claimed, deep attraction does not arise on demand. It is skillfully evoked. Now you know how to do it. The elegance of this method lies in its naturalness. The more freely you master body language, the brighter your inner magnetic femininity manifests itself. It does not need words and confirmations, for it draws strength from itself. Integrate these subtle gestures into everyday life. A gaze that lingers a little longer, a casual touch, a meaningful silence. Then you will not just be noticed, you will be felt. You will become that woman who does not need to raise her voice to be heard, whose energy penetrates to the depths of the soul. Carl Jung taught that true transformation begins with the ability to listen to the voice of your soul and not just to external stimuli. This is exactly what you do when you respond to a hug consciously and sensitively. You catch the unspoken and speak in a language that is understood without words. When a woman finds harmony between her intuition and physical embodiment, casting aside fears of possible reactions from others, a powerful force awakens in her, requiring no verbal proof. At this moment, she is not just noticed. Her presence becomes a profound experience for others. And he who is capable of leaving an indelible impression is forever etched in memory. Perhaps a simple hug may seem like an insignificant gesture to some, but for you, it transforms into a moment full of potential, a space where you can read between the lines, sense subtle nuances, and subtly manage the situation with an elegance that attracts men, even if they cannot explain why. After all, that is the charm of a woman's mystery. It is not explained, it is felt. And if you consciously follow this path, you will discover how you transform the most ordinary moments into something extraordinary. A single, sincere, consciously lived moment, a deep breath shared between two people, can say more than 1,000 words. Pay close attention to the consequences. Does he seek to meet your gaze? Does he stay close? Does he become quieter and more thoughtful? Sometimes true attraction is not expressed in words, but in meaningful pauses. And you will master the art of these pauses, not rushing events, but keeping him in a state of longing anticipation, which ignites a strong yearning in him. When he finally approaches you, and this will inevitably happen, you will no longer be the woman he saw you as a moment ago. You will become the one who touched something in his soul that he has never experienced with anyone else. After all, deep down, each of us has a desire for a connection that transcends physical attraction, for a soulful touch. And that is exactly what you can give him without pretending to be someone you are not, but simply by becoming more aware of your true essence. In moments of doubt, remember, your energetic signature in a person's soul is often more powerful than any spoken words. But how do you maintain this emotional connection when the physical embrace ends and distance separates you? Many women, unfortunately, underestimate their inner strength, mistakenly believing that the emotional moment is exhausted with the end of physical contact. However, the emotional energy you transmit continues to live on, like a quiet echo resonating in his consciousness. As Carl Jung said, symbolism is not limited to external manifestations, but continues to exist in the depths of the unconscious, shaping thoughts, feelings, and desires beyond rational control. If your presence, gaze, or even silence has awakened strong emotions in him, you have sown a seed that will sprout regardless of your physical presence. So how do you stay alive in his memory without resorting to intrusiveness or manipulation? The secret lies in maintaining your own energy. Your inner radiance does not depend on his actions, but is a reflection of your connection with yourself. When a woman radiates calmness, gentle sensuality, quiet confidence, and lively intuition, her radiance continues to have an effect from a distance, even through a phone screen. How do you achieve this? Give free rein to your self-expression. Allow silence to arise between your words. Respond thoughtfully, realizing the significance of each of your reactions. After all, true magic lies not in the number of words spoken, but in what remains unspoken, in the understatement that creates intrigue and depth. Do not rush to conclusions if a man does not immediately show his reaction after experiencing a moment together. Perhaps the emotions experienced are so strong that he needs time to comprehend and process them. Believe me, he will definitely do it. Often, men do not immediately realize how strong an impression a woman's energy has made on them, but their actions speak for themselves. Suddenly, he starts paying you more attention, looking for reasons to talk. His messages become more personal and intimate. In these signs, you will see the response that you have awakened in him. A clear sign is his desire to communicate, when he initiates contact himself. A random message with a banal question, behind which you can feel something more, or a reaction to your story, as if reminding you of his presence, are all subtle signals that you have left a mark on his soul, the depth of which exceeds his own understanding. To maintain this connection without losing yourself, it is important to remember: do not change your energy because of expectation. Do not allow expectation to overshadow your inner light. Your strength lies in your ability to continue to shine, regardless of external circumstances. Carl Jung spoke of individuation as a process of self-discovery, and in the context of female attraction, this aspect is crucial. A woman who does not need completion, but chooses herself, does not ask for attention, but invites memories. True attraction is manifested not in spontaneous desire, but in admiration for what you radiate, for the feelings you awaken, for the sense of depth, peace, and natural sensuality that surrounds him in your presence and does not let go after you leave. The next time fate gives you a hug, do not miss the chance to turn a fleeting touch into a deep ritual. Feel how your feminine energy, your intuition, and your silence touch the soul of another person, going beyond simple physical contact. And when the moment of parting inevitably arrives, do not allow yourself to lose touch with your own self. Keep the fire of your energy burning, because if a seed is sown in fertile ground, it will surely sprout. And it will return not only because of your efforts, but also because of the feelings that the man experienced with you. A conscious, self-assured, and emotionally awakened woman will not chase anyone. She knows that the impression she leaves in a man's heart will pulsate there for a long time. Now that this knowledge has become yours, you are ready to turn every meeting into an unforgettable emotional experience. Remember, when you immerse yourself in an embrace, you are not just experiencing a moment, you are creating an emotional echo that can resonate in the depths of the soul for much longer than any physical touch. This is not just closeness, not just contact. It is the transmission of your energy, your intention, your sincere willingness to be there. When you choose to be here and now, without distractions and false masks, you become not just an attractive woman, you become a magnet. And it's not about your actions, but about the aura that you radiate. A woman who is in harmony with her intuitive sensuality and inner strength does not need loud words to leave an indelible mark. Her presence speaks for itself. This is what turns an ordinary embrace into an unforgettable moment. Your calmness, your quiet elegance, your willingness to linger in the embrace for one more breath. This is the difference between a woman who can be forgotten and one who is always remembered. The magic lies in the details, in what is not always immediately visible but deeply felt by the heart. It is widely believed that attraction arises under the influence of external factors or skillfully chosen phrases. But true attraction arises where there is sincerity, where emotional depth is felt, and where there is soulful resonance. It is from this point that you can begin to act, presenting yourself not as a person trying to please or arouse desire, but as someone who is remembered, not as someone waiting, but as someone who subtly awakens feelings, acting not out of need, but out of a calm awareness of oneself and an inner knowledge of one's own essence. When you accept and love yourself, feel yourself as a whole person, combining strength and tenderness, this energy begins to emanate from you, and every man you meet will feel it. And when he embraces you, he will not want to let you go, not because you are holding him, but because you are touching deep chords within him that transform him. Therefore, the next time you feel an embrace, take a deep breath and feel its weight and meaning. Turn it into a dance between what you give and what you awaken, between what you offer and what you nurture. And if you ever doubt your ability to influence others, remember that your value is manifested not in his reactions or words, but in the invisible movement that you cause in his soul. As Carl Jung said, "Find what shines in you and use it to illuminate the world." And you, women, have just learned to light this light with something as simple and powerful as an